Article 3.
450, not 459.
Shall the Hampton Beach Village District vote to accept the provisions of RSA 31:95-B, providing that any village district at an annual meeting may adopt an article authorizing indefinitely, until specific recession of such authority, the commissioners to apply for, accept, and expend without further action by the district meeting unanticipated money from a state, federal, or other government unit or private source which becomes available during the fiscal year. This authorization will remain in effect until rescinded by a vote of the district meeting. Majority vote required. Do I have a motion? Seconded? Any second? Mr. Bruce Terrio. Seconded by Joe Williams. Any discussion on Article 3? Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Timothy Jones, 16 Dustin Avenue. As I understand reading this, if the commissioners get a windfall or unanticipated money, presently they need to come to the people to use that money. And this motion is to defeat the people's ability to direct how that money is spent. Am I understanding that motion correctly?
No.
I'll have to ask the legal counsel, or...
Sure. Let me just address that briefly. This statute simply authorizes the commissioners to accept grants and that kind of thing. And I think that the expenditures would still need to be reflected, say, in future budgets and that kind of thing. But without this, technically without this statute, the commissioners would not be able to, in the course of action or the normal course of business, be able to apply, say, for grants and that kind of thing without first obtaining voter approval. So this is a very common mechanism used by any number of towns, and it simply provides, without need of having to come to the town meeting each and every year, it gives permission for the commissioners to be able to obtain such funds. And I know Mr. Gebhardt may wish to add to this, and in particular, I know this issue is arising, I believe, at this time because there's a desire not to have any challenges if, for example, sponsorships are obtained, that kind of thing, for various beach activities. So,
that's a question on that point.
Sure.
This is for the collection of the promotional money, for example, for the temporary stage, right?
Could be anything.
So you don't need to get special permission?
It could be for anything.
Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm just suggesting that this enables the commissioners to apply for, accept unanticipated money from any source.
Under any conditions?
Well, yeah.
I want to be clear on that.
Well,
so
yes.
The federal government offers us money with all kinds of strings attached. The commissioners, and not us, the people, can decide whether those strings are acceptable.
I think that would be correct. Yes, and that would be typical.
This would in fact speed up the process of accepting these things, because we're defeating the democratic process, and the democratic process is always slower than an administrative path.
I
right?
don't really think I'm qualified to answer that. That's not a legal question, so I don't know what to say.
The administrative process is a more expedited process than going through the democratic process of calling meetings, etc. Right?
I'm not going to debate this with you, sir.
Is that the reason why the commissioners put this on the ballot, Mr.
I
Moderator?
believe that the commissioners put this on the warrant simply to ensure that they had the authority to do things that many, many towns in New Hampshire do, which is to apply as a matter of course for things like grants and any other type of unanticipated revenue. I can't really address your comments about the administrative or
I would
democratic
oppose
process.
this on the basis that it takes away power from us, the people. This is basically an anti-democratic motion. Yes, it makes things go faster, but so wouldn't not having this meeting. If we didn't have this meeting, things would go a lot faster. If we gave the commissioners an open checkbook and let them poke into our wallets anytime they wished, things would go a lot faster. Okay? So if all we're interested in is speed, then let's just give them carte blanche to take anything we have. I'm opposed to this, any Democratic.
All right, well, the Smith article has been...
We can accept money.
And I should respond to that.
All right, Mr. Gephardt, I'll allow you to respond.
The primary purpose of this is to allow the commissioners to accept money from any source. If we want to accept money from anyone who wants to support our stage, our temporary stage,
Rick Griffin.
this has to pass. We cannot accept money for any reason that is not on this, put on this budget.
If I may. We don't need to have such a broad-based motion to accept. We can have a motion that says the commissioners are authorized to accept promotion money for the stage. We can do that. But this is broad-based. This is for anything.
Mr. Moderator, I can very quickly respond to that. This statute mandates that certain specific language be used when the voters vote on this topic. And that is the only language which can be used. So if the voters want to pass this, they need to pass it in the form which is written in this warrant.
All right, we're not going to get into a debate. You've made your point, Mr. Jones, you've made your point. You say you are opposed. A motion has been made to move the question. All those in favor of Article 3 as it is written, signify by raising your cards.
As it was written?
Opposed? And I got 3 here. Yes.
You asked to move the question, so you need a two-thirds vote to move the question. And also, there's other discussion that was out there looking to be discussed about this issue with some of the language in it. And you shut that off to the people.
I asked if there was any further discussion, and I didn't see any significance.
I had my card up, he had his card up, and you passed over.
Should have moved the question.
That was, move the question is not a debatable. Once the question is moved, then we take a vote. And we do have a two-thirds vote, because the vote is 32 in favor of Article 3 as it is written, and 3 against.
No, to move the question.
I'm moving the question. All right, so we do have a two-thirds vote to move the question, which ceases debate and goes to immediate vote on the motion. Agree, Sharon? Right. So the vote has been
Now
made.
we have to vote. I thought we did. We just voted on it. Yeah, I know.
All right, we have a two-thirds vote on moving the question. Now the question is, all those in favor of Article 3 as it is written, signify by raising your cards. And you, Brian, you'll take all those standees. You got all the standees all the way around the back?
Keep your hands up.
Keep your hands up. The first 2 rows I've done.
Did you get us?
Yeah, I got you guys. 32. And I had 10, 42. All those opposed to Article 3 as it is written. How many? 2. I got 4. 42 in favor of Article 3 as it is written, 4 opposed. Article 3 passes.